Let's take you back to Parliament. We were talking earlier about the carnage on our roads, about the number of people who died over the weekend, and the fact that yesterday in Parliament they did not observe a minute of silence as they are done for persons who have died in Mozambique and persons who have died in New Zealand. Well, Professor Michael Quay has been explaining the House's decision not to pay the respect to the victims of the Kintampo accident on Monday. As you're well aware of, they observe a minute silence, like I said, for the victims of the disasters in New Zealand and Mozambique. The Speaker says that the House was waiting for the Member of Parliament for the area to return from a fact-finding mission so that he would deliver a statement on the issue. That did not happen, which is why he says a minute of silence was not held for those who died on the Kintampo road.
On the road accident involving the two buses at Ampmok Road in the Kintampo South District. It has come to my attention that some members of the public have wondered why there was no statement on this tragedy yesterday in this honorable house at the time when we had talked about some tragedies elsewhere. It's very useful to have a parliamentary press call if the media will engage them on such matters before relevant reportage. Because we had good reason yesterday. The honorable member who had already filed a statement had to be outside the house because of what had occurred in her constituency. And the leadership were agreeable that she must be the appropriate person to lead the statement on this in this honorable house. And that was not out of this honorable house not being mindful of the circumstances. And in any case, normally we have started work on Tuesday anyway. So we will want the public to also publish this as a way of reflecting the truth of the matter. This honorable house is very, very much concerned with such matters and has addressed such matters with expedition and dutifully at all relevant times.
You heard Professor Michael Quay there explaining away why yesterday there was a minute of silence held for New Zealand as well as for those who have died in Mozambique, the cyclone in Mozambique, but none for the Kintampo accident. Well, let's get on social media to find out how you think we can deal with this problem, especially now that we've introduced the Okada into it and how Okada is what we're told is fueling criminal activities in this country. Now go on Facebook right now to take some of the comments that have come in. Abu Al-Hassan, I'm going to start with Abu Al-Hassan. He says that not necessary are the Okadas, and he's responding basically to the calls for the for the movement of these motorcycles to be banned. He says it is not necessary, and he's asking, are the Okadas the cause of the accidents? That's a question there. Mohammed JB says, no, this cannot curb the situation. Again, he's responding to the ban on the use of motorcycles. Kenneth Oforimenta says not only to curb accidents, but robbery as well. So you seem to be providing some answers for the two other gentlemen. Tamimu Yaya says, how can this man be a minister of road and transport? Why has the Okada caused any accident on our roads, or have dig any, or have it, you're asking if it has dug any potholes on the roads? These are people who caused the mess when given a sector to manage. He has no idea of anything about what it takes to be there. Okay, so you mean that the minister does not have an idea what it takes to be in his position, but just because he has contributed to the victory of the party, he's been given the opportunity to manage the sector, and at the end of the day, he has no report to write about his office. Jabless says they can't try it in the northern region. We love our motorbikes. Wow, and that's a fact. That's a fact that you refer to it. A lot of people use motorbikes in the northern part of the country, so it'll be interesting to see how this is implemented. Roger Locanse says confused government. Instead of fixing street lights and the roads with speed limit signs, see what the super competent government is saying. And you sigh, a very long one there. Kingsley Kwabena says this will not solve the problem. Passengers should always steady the driver and control him if he drives carelessly. David Osa says it's just reckless driving. Drivers need to be reoriented so that accidents on the highway and within the city can be brought to the barest minimum. Okada on its own also needs to be checked as well. I believe you're trying to write check. Nana Abena says, oh, finally, a stop to this menace. Well, we all hope so. Succeed Shan says, during JJ's regime, big vehicles, big trucks and articulator vehicles are obligated to, obliged, I believe you want to say, to park their vehicles between 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., which in effect recorded good results of curbing road accident in the evening. What happened? Jonathan Hazel says the minister has double brain. We should clap for him. Peter Bitamin says he's probably tortured by his wife wrongly. Rethinking is very necessary. Richard King Fiat says, is it Okada that got bent at Kintampo? And you have a very worried expression at the end of your statement. Barry Masapon says, whenever a leader opens his or her mouth, then the insults start flowing. But when something happens, it's accusation and insult. So who are we as Ghanaians and black people? Are we okay mentally? Are we governable? Or is agenda Ofusuampofo? We have too many. Okay. Well, you have some very strong words there. Let's move on from there. Tete Vincent says, that Mahama Kambu annoys me the most. Kamsiko Foidria of all places. And he's referring to those small vehicles. Every country seems to have a description for it. Those small tiny vehicles that they use is pretty much a tricycle, but it's been used commercially in many places, and he's saying Koforidua has so many of them. Amono says these Praja, Mahama Kambu, whatever they call it, why have we allowed them to be that lawless on our streets, including the Aboboya? The accidents on the roads have their causes, but the Okadas and these allowed motor form vehicles are making the road like animal jungle, purely lawlessness. And I couldn't agree with you any better. Alhaji Mohammed says, how many of the fatal accidents on our highways are being caused by Okada? Incompetence and clueless remark from the minister. Mahama says, Mahama Badazi says, a bus gets an accident and we blame Okadas. We have the men. Okay. Dangana says, the only way to go as a country is to copy the Americans, the Europeans, as we always do, by ensuring all our major roads are changed to the dual carriageways, period. How many people does Okada drivers kill in a year? Or do Okada drivers kill in a year as compared to some of our useless drivers on the useless roads? Let's tackle the main problem and stop this childish approach to issues. Sefas Kwao says cowards who only make decisions for votes. Atubiga says Nanado and his incompetent 123 have everybody to blame for their failures except themselves. And this very final one from Omar Abubakari says, funny, after 9 p.m., how many accidents have you seen Okada involved in? Well, let's